isn't a movie if it doesn't include animation mistakes, secrets, and details that are part of grand theories. All of that is found in the Super Mario Bros. The movie, making it even more spectacular. In this adventure, we'll explore all that I mentioned, as I've compiled the best of the best that we saw in this movie and put them into this video. In the description, I've included timestamps that will indicate when in the video we'll be discussing a particular topic, as we'll explore various subjects. Let's kick off this amazing adventure by delving into some crazy theories. Let's talk about the horrible problem that Mario and Luigi live with their family. The first glimpse we have is when the guys return home after their first job. From the beginning of the scenes, we see 6 to 7 relatives at the table who are ready to eat. And although we don't exactly know their relationship with the protagonists, it's easy to understand that they are relatives. And these two characters are the parents of Mario and Luigi because the same film confirms it. At first glance, you can see that the family has certain problems, and some are more serious than others. Besides having economic problems, something that is common as many families face this. However, what is not common or normal and should not happen is to live in family violence. As you are already imagining, Mario and Luigi live through family violence in their own home. This film is aimed at younger children, yet the story touches slightly on this family problem and shows it through small scenes that only last a couple of seconds. For example, it is seen that Mario does not have a good relationship with his father, so much so that his father does not give his emotional support or words of motivation when Mario's dreams are destroyed every day that passes because almost no one hires him. The father is so toxic and inconsiderate that this hard time Mario is living, he scolds him in front of everyone because he left his previous job, which was better. After he finishes saying all that, he acts like he never said anything important. The father easily gave Mario to understand that he doesn't care about his feelings and that he is a fool for trying to fulfill his dreams. The bad luck for these two guys does not end here, since everything indicates that the mother also has a somewhat toxic mentality because she kept quiet when he was arguing with Mario, and if she did not say anything, it is because she agrees with her husband. This terrible attitude that the parents maintain is the reason that poor Luigi has not overcome the traumas of the bullying that he experienced years ago. If we let ourselves be guided by the attitudes presented by Mr. and Mrs., I doubt that they will help Luigi to forget those memories, or that they will take him to therapy in order to overcome the traumas. The result of not overcoming his traumas ended up being quite depressing, and we see this in the scenes that are crucial to the film. When Luigi faces the different dark scenarios, it is sad to see how he reacts to them, and it is even sadder to see how these events end. Anyway, everything mentioned above you can take as a silly theory or as a real fact. I leave it all to your decision. You have the last word. As we all know, Bowser is the main villain of this movie and several Mario Bros. Games. However, there is a plausible explanation that reveals why Bowser harbors so much evil in his heart. Kamek manipulated him, taking advantage of the lack of a mother and father figure in his life. Bowser's life has been marked by sadness due to the absence of a family. Without anyone by his side, Kamek manipulated him at will, teaching him that attacking and conquering worlds was normal, thus nurturing anger and hatred within him. This leads us to consider Kamek as the true villain, as he took advantage of Bowser's innocence at his most vulnerable moment. This explanation could also justify why Bowser acted horribly when attempting to conquer Peach. It's evident that Bowser has had a difficult life and lacks experience in the art of courtship. He has no idea how to behave in front of his crush. In short, Bowser caused great chaos with the sole purpose of impressing Peach and winning her heart. Evidence supporting the claim that Bowser is not completely a villain is the fact that he had the opportunity to use the Power Star to take over the other kingdoms, but chose not to. Only when things got out of control and he felt that everything was going to end badly for him, did he resort to the Power Star as a last resort. In summary, Bowser couldn't control his emotions because Kamek raised him to be a wild and ruthless beast. Now that you know that Bowser was manipulated by Kamek, do you still consider him as the true villain of this story? I invite you to share your response in the comments. During the fight between Donkey Kong and Mario, an error quickly occurs that hardly anyone notices. When the battle begins, we can see that there's absolutely nothing on the beam. But suddenly, when Mario receives the powers of the cat, turns into Cat Mario, barrels magically appear for the gorilla to use against Mario. During the race, something happens that doesn't make sense no matter how you look at it. The rainbow breaks and a blue Koopa gets angry, transforming into a blue shell to attack Mario and Donkey. The error is that it shouldn't have attacked these characters. If we base it on the functioning used in the Mario Kart video games, the blue shell can only attack the racer in first place. In this situation, the blue shell should have attacked Peach since she was in first place, but it ignored its own rules and attacked the racer in second place. As the plot of the movie begins to unfold, a sudden error occurs without any logical explanation. As we already know, Bowser attacked the Penguin Kingdom and was about to attack the Mushroom Kingdom, so Peach had to head to the Kong Kingdom in search of an alliance. This is where the error happens. The Toads allowed their beloved princess to go alone to the Kong Kingdom. This lacks logic because the Toads were the ones who educated, trained, and taught her everything she knows. Therefore, certain Toads inhabiting this kingdom have unique abilities that would surely be of great help to Peach, but none of them accompanied her to the other kingdom. In this movie, they don't show much about Luigi and Mario's family, but in those small scenes where we see them, we can observe certain facts that point out that it is a family that has economic problems. Basically, our beloved guys come from a low-income family. In the first few minutes of the film, we see the reality of Luigi and Mario's lives. However, we did not realize this because we were distracted by the sounds and animation of the scene, which at that moment brought us a lot of nostalgia. In these scenes, they present an advertisement in which the protagonists promote their plumbing services. At the end of the commercial, we learned that the guys spent all the money they had saved in that commercial. In other words, Mario and Luigi were bankrupt at that very moment.
So glad we spent our life savings on this commercial. That is not...
When they return home, Mario's dad mentions that Mario left a stable job for an impossible dream. This suggests that Mario's dream was to generate money by providing his plumbing services. Unfortunately, his dream was falling apart and his family members were not providing him with emotional support. In this case, the same thing happened with Luigi's situation that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Mario's family made him feel like garbage because they are toxic. In the video games, we see that Mario and Princess Peach are just friends. But there is a possibility that this could change. As in the movie, they flirt with glances that reveal something deeper than what we perceive. Even Donkey Kong mocks Mario, thinking that Peach is out of his reach. By the end of the story, it is evident that the princess's affection for Mario is greater than we imagine, looking at him with fondness, respect, and possibly other deeper feelings. Before, she saw him as a nobody and a foolish human. It may sound far-fetched, but in future Super Mario Bros. Movies, they could break the cycle of bad luck and allow Peach and Mario to have a romantic relationship. If you leave a heart in the comments, you'll be saying, "Long live the lovebird!" In the wedding scene of Peach and Bowser, there is a massive flaw that goes against the logic of the Super Mario Bros. Video game franchise, specifically in the games where Luigi is the protagonist. During the celebration, we see various iconic characters from the Mario franchise in attendance. However, there is one guest who shouldn't be there: King Boo. The ghost cannot and should not be present because it cannot directly expose itself to sunlight. Hence, it hides in abandoned places and only appears during the night for a few hours. In this part of the adventure, I challenge you to find the first error. This error is the difficult one. The person who finds it in comments will appear in a new video. If you can't find the error, don't worry, because later on, I will reveal the answer. Pay attention to this scene because the error is here. Good luck! When the guys are in the Kong Kingdom and Mario agrees to face Donkey Kong, an error occurs. The mustachioed plumber, upon entering the arena for his battle, fails to notice that the ground has been reduced to a narrow beam. He continues walking as if nothing is wrong, looking everywhere except the ground. He reaches the halfway point, realizes it, and gets scared. If logic had existed in those few seconds of the scene, he would have fallen as soon as he entered the arena because he was never walking on top of the beam. There is a reference to Princess Peach in one of the Minions short films, although hardly anyone remembers it. In a scene when Peach is getting ready to ride her motorcycle, she wears a distinctive white outfit with pink details, complemented by a perfectly matching helmet. Interestingly, Agnes, Gru's daughter, sports an extremely similar attire in one of the short films. This suggests the possibility that Agnes is a fan of Mario Kart, as in that video game, Princess Peach first wears that same outfit. The story of the movie, in general, hardly touches controversial topics, but those topics that are touched for a few seconds leave you thinking that Luigi has had a difficult and sad life. In the beginning of the film, we see that Luigi suffers from bullying since this loser harasses and insults him, and he is not able to defend himself because he feels a strong fear, so Mario defends him. Many people think that Luigi is fearful because that's how he is. Apparently, certain things point out that that is not entirely true. At one point in the film, it is seen that, since he was very young, he suffered bullying. This indicates that, apart from these characters that bothered him, at an unknown point in his life, there were more people that made him feel sad, and who knows if he didn't fall into depression or anxiety. If you comment the angry emoji, you would be saying, "Stop bothering Luigi or I will throw a banana peel at you!" There is a huge possibility that poor Luigi grew up traumatized by the horrible events he lived, and now in his adult life, he has not overcome the trauma, leading him to feel more fear than usual when he lives an event out of the ordinary. At the end of the movie, Luigi and Mario obtain the superstar that gives them agility, strength, and other things for a short time. The mustachioed guys received these powers and became skilled fighters, able to take on the evil Bowser. Hate to say it, but there's something that doesn't make sense. Only Mario prepared for the battle, training with the blonde girl. Meanwhile, Luigi didn't receive any preparation or combat knowledge, yet he was still able to fight at the same level as Mario. This ain't fair because Mario went through a lot of suffering in his training, and in the end, Luigi ends up having the same ability without even needing to train. Comment F to pay respect to Mario. When the protagonists are in a restaurant, a mistake happens, but almost no one noticed it because we were excited watching the movie and the nostalgia was overwhelming. Luigi receives the first call with a job offer and accepts it. Then he and Mario rush off to that place. The problem here is that Luigi never asked for the location of that place, but they still end up arriving there. Seriously, Luigi didn't ask for the address of that place because he ended the call in time.
That's great you called us, because we can be there and we can fix it right away. Okay.
This other mistake could be the biggest one in the movie if we follow the Mario video game storyline. In the story of this movie, Cranky Kong is the father of Donkey Kong.
Hi, Dad! Dad, wait back!
This fact is quite far from the true reality of the Mario games. In this timeline, Cranky Kong is the grandfather of Donkey, and Donkey's father is Donkey Kong Jr. It seems that Donkey Kong Jr. doesn't exist in this new timeline, or there might have been an error during the development of the movie's story that led to forgetting about Donkey's true father. Let's talk about something curious. This funny film is full of references to the multiple Mario Bros. Games, and also contains winks to other movies that are not related to Illumination or Nintendo. For this time, we will mention a wink only. When Mario is practicing with Princess Peach to be able to face Bowser, the movie plays the song I Need a Hero. This song is an iconic melody thanks to the second Shrek movie because the evil fairy godmother sings it in the pillar moments of the story. Maybe you're saying, that's not a reference or a wink, it's just a coincidence. Well, be it one or the other, it's a fact worth mentioning. the Italian brothers return home for dinner, several issues within their family become evident. A notable aspect of this scene is that Mario's father is upset because Luigi and Mario have decided to start their own plumbing business. This has a backstory based on the fact that Mario and Luigi pursued university studies. Evidence of this is a photo showing both brothers graduating, which is displayed in the living room of the house. It is likely that the career they studied is related to the field of medicine, given the characters Dr. Mario and Dr. Luigi that appear in the video games. Now we can understand why Mario's father feels upset that his sons have abandoned a stable job. It's possible that Mario and Luigi felt unhappy practicing their profession, which led them to resign. This family is facing serious problems, and later in the video, we will reveal a sad and discouraging fact related to Luigi and Mario's grandfather. However, if you don't want to wait much longer, the screen displays the minute in which we discuss this topic, so you can watch it right now! Now, let's find the second mistake. This is the easy mistake, and I'll make it easier for you by giving you a clue. Look down to the ground and you'll find the mistake. This mistake makes you think about the theory that suggests that Princess Peach is also the villain of the movie. While the guys were racing over the rainbow, Bowser attacks them, causing Mario and Donkey to fall into the ocean. However, Peach could have gone to rescue them from the water, as her motorcycle can ride on water without any problems. But she chose not to do so. This suggests two things that could have happened. It could be a small hint that increases the intrigue that Peach is a villain because she acts suspiciously, or they might have made a mistake by placing this scene at that moment in the movie. What do you think? Was it a movie mistake, or is it a small clue pointing to Peach being an evil character? When Mario first arrives at the Mushroom Kingdom, he just introduces himself to the Toad he found along the way, and later to Princess Peach. These two characters are the only ones who know this man's name. After the blonde girl returns to the kingdom, she makes a reference to Mario not making it, and the Toads get scared when they hear it.
And Mario's gone.
This doesn't make any sense because the Toads didn't know who Mario was because she never introduced him. And when they asked who the man accompanying her was, Peach refused to answer the question.
Who's he? He's not important!
Donkey Kong is known to all of us as a wild gorilla that endlessly smashes, and destroys anything. However, at one point in the movie, Donkey, feeling sad, mentions that he feels his father thinks that he is a nobody. Then he says that he is much more than a wild gorilla that destroys.
At least you're not gonna die with your dad thinking you're a joke. Over the corner and smash some stuff, smash monkey! Huh? I am more than a guy who smashes things!
This suggests that Cranky Kong doesn't appreciate his son, while Donkey would love to be appreciated by his father. There is the crazy possibility that Cranky is forcing Donkey to act like an evil gorilla because he is living a frustrated dream through his son of being a strong gorilla who destroys everything in his path without facing the consequences. This leaves us wondering if it is really true, and in the case that it was, then Donkey Kong has been living a life full of manipulations because he does things that he does not agree with, and he only does it for the purpose of pleasing his father. As I mentioned in the first part of this video, Luigi and Mario's family mistreat them. Apparently, they are not the only ones who suffer mistreatment from the family. The elderly man, possibly the protagonist's grandfather, also doesn't receive proper treatment. It's evident that at this stage of his life, the grandfather needs assistance from others to carry out certain activities. In a normal family, grandparents are loved and respected, and efforts are made to ensure that they enjoy this stage of life life and are always happy. However, the family of these boys is not entirely normal. In the scenes featuring the grandfather, it's noticeable that he is not given the proper attention. At this moment, the lady is feeding him in a way that shows indifference, which is disrespectful. If this woman treats the grandfather like this in front of everyone, I don't want to imagine how the rest of the family treats him. But I prefer not to continue discussing this topic as it is sensitive and YouTube does not view it favorably. However, you can draw your own conclusions and share them in the comments. When the troops capture Luigi, they bring him in before Bowser, who interrogates him to discover who the mysterious man accompanying Peach is. Luigi refuses to answer, provoking Bowser's anger. Bowser grabs his mustache forcefully and tears a part of it. Then Bowser lets go of Luigi, and if you pay attention to the villain, you'll see that he has some of Luigi's mustache hair on his hand. It would be logical to think that Luigi's mustache would be damaged, but when the scene changes, the mustache appears intact, as if Bowser hadn't done anything to it. In this part of the video, I will reveal the answer to the difficult mistake. In this scene, the wrench changes its position when the camera angle changes. Initially, it is placed one way, and then miraculously, it changes position when the scene shifts angles. If you hadn't managed to find the mistake, you can now leave your answer in the comments for a chance to appear in the next video. At the beginning of the story, we see Bowser's enormous flying ship approaching the Penguin Kingdom and dropping several anchors to secure itself and descend to the ground. No matter where you look, you won't find any logic in this. Generally, the flying ship must weigh hundreds of tons, and each anchor they dropped doesn't counterbalance even a little bit of the ship's true weight. It's understandable why they did this. It added a unique touch to the scene. Come on, let's be honest. This scene looks amazing! Inside Bowser's flying ship, they show that they have captured numerous victims and locked them in a cage. Through these scenes, we meet a blue flame-shaped character called Lumalee. This character has a characteristic that makes him unique. He always expresses the crude reality that lives such a character who interacts with the flame and expresses it mockingly. The movie doesn't explain why the flame was captured, but things imply that Bowser ordered Lumalee to be locked up, since he told him the unvarnished truth about his reality living, and he got extremely furious. If you watched the movie and used your common sense, you will realize that this fact makes a lot of sense, since Bowser hates to be made to see his true reality, and whoever does so punishes him mercilessly, as seen in these scenes. The million-dollar question here is, what did he tell Bowser? Did he reveal to him that he will never marry Princess Peach? Or did he tell them that he is ugly? Comment what you think Lumalee told the evil Bowser. At the beginning of the movie, we discover that Mario and Luigi have just started their own plumbing business. Through these scenes, we meet Spike, who also works as a plumber and would therefore be their direct competition. The events that occur when the loser insults and attacks Luigi indicate that he is an evil man in many, many ways. It wouldn't be surprising to think that he enjoys playing dirty with his competition to be the only plumber in town and charge whatever he wants. However, don't be fooled by his physical appearance of an evil man, as it is completely false. In the final moments of the show, we see that he is a coward. When Mario returns to the human world carrying certain dangerous things, Spike sees them and panics, fleeing the scene. I wonder, where did his bravery go? What happened to his evil attitude? It seems like all of that magically disappeared. Comment with the clown emoji if you think Spike is a fool as well. As we all know, Bowser is the main villain of this movie and several Mario Bros. Games. However, there is a plausible explanation that reveals why Bowser harbors so much evil in his heart. Kamek manipulated him, taking advantage of the lack of a mother and father figure in his life. Bowser's life has been marked by sadness due to the absence of a family. Without anyone by his side, Kamek manipulated him at will, teaching him that attacking and conquering worlds was normal, thus nurturing anger and hatred within him. This leads us to consider Kamek as the true villain, as he took advantage of Bowser's innocence at his most vulnerable moment. This explanation could also justify why Bowser acted horribly when attempting to conquer Peach. It's evident that Bowser has had a difficult life and lacks experience in the art of courtship. He has no idea how to behave in front of his crush. In short, Bowser caused great chaos with the sole purpose of impressing Peach and winning her heart. Evidence supporting the claim that Bowser is not completely a villain is the fact that he had the opportunity to use the Power Star to take over the other kingdoms, but chose not to. Only when things got out of control and he felt that everything was going to end badly for him, did he resort to the Power Star as a last resort. In summary, Bowser couldn't control his emotions because Kamek raised him to be a wild and ruthless beast. Now that you know that Bowser was manipulated by Kamek, do you still consider him as the true villain of this story? I invite you to share your response in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this plumbing adventure. My name is Ciara, and I send greetings to everyone who participated in the previous video. You're invited to watch this video that's appearing on your screen. In this next adventure, we discover super interesting things about Miraculous Ladybug. Check it out because you'll love it. Subscribe to this channel to join us in more adventures. Until next time!